Hey guys, Carr with Munchkins 2.0. Hey, we're going to talk a little bit about, something that I always think about is how to get more out of your golem attacks, your Gowipe attacks, or your lures. Trying to get this to save every possible troop we can. So we're going to look at a couple things that happened in this latest war, a couple different guys and what happened to them. So, and hey, these were all great attacks. Not all of them were 3-star, but certainly they give some good examples of how to get a little bit more out of it. So on this first one, we're looking at a quick lure. Really what I'm focused on this first example is going to be where Colm deploys his golems and his wizards behind it. We're going to talk about how to save some of these wizards. So right now, typical, Gowipe attack, golems coming in at one of the corners. Down here on this lower right side, if you look at those wizards, these are the ones that we're trying to figure out a way to protect so they don't just become, on a suicide mission going to like that Tesla. So they're on that lower side. I mean, you saw those wizards had no protections. They go straight to the Tesla, get wiped out. Meanwhile, here comes a golem afterwards. So had that golem come in first, those wizards could have provided support and taken out, that upcoming, arch tower and some of those other defenses as they came through. Same on the top right of the screen. There's no wizards helping support those good troops starting to make their way around the base. And this is pretty common where you always end up seeing either a P.E.K.K.A. or your heroes or someone else that want to go on a field trip around the whole of their enemy base, and it works out a lot better if they have a couple of wizards to go with them. Don't ever send those wizards just by themselves. So here's another kind of example, another one that happened. This one, another good lure. Lure to the cannons. Don't ever lure to those wizard towers. The splash effects will just kill them. The other thing on the lure is make sure, and this is really important, make sure all those the enemy clan castle troops are distracted by your, usually your golems or one of your big meat shields before you put down your wizards. Otherwise, your wizards are going to get zapped. So what I highlighted right there, these are the defenses. So when you think of golems, golems are only going to go to the defenses. So on that lower side, you're trying to find somewhere probably near that cannon, because if you get too close to that arch tower, it might make its way around the 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock part of the screen. We want to really bring it in from that east side. Same on that top side, we're really focusing on the cannon. So as soon as he takes out those clan castle troops, you'll see he'll stick a golem right up there outside that cannon. We want to bring it right on that. As soon as one of the golems or anything breaks through that initial defense, everything's going to go to the next defense on the inside of that wall. So up here, what we're seeing, you start seeing some of these wizards that look like they're getting a little bit behind that golem, which means they're going to start chasing that gold storage and start heading there to the top of the screen, which is going to leave them for easy kind of getting picked off by that arch tower. And that's where you want to have a P.E.K.K.A. or something else that can go in there if you're trying to have a P.E.K.K.A. go around the sides. Usually we're trying to get P.E.K.K.A.s to go up the middle for our main attacks. In this case, Ted's got a nice golem there to help kind of capture this. It makes it to where those wizards are actually behind that golem and they give some great support. And you can see right here, everything is well supported. There's a golem in front of everything, in front of a whiz tower. You got that wizards behind it. Those wizards over here on the right, and they're behind. They look like they might go around and hit that, gold mine, and that's okay. In some cases they will. Right now, the whole point was to get that arch tower completely distracted. 2 wizards end up coming around that downhill side, and you can see the P.E.K.K.A. now. Because there was one structure left, it's hanging out there going on a field trip again. So really careful if you can when you're destroying those clan castle troops. If you see one of these lone rogue builder huts sitting there, just zap it away. It'll help keep your P.E.K.K.A. on course. Otherwise, your P.E.K.K.A. is going to drive you nuts because he won't go join the main attack. So in this case, that P.E.K.K.A. is going to be drawn to the nearest structure, so he's going to go down and follow these wizards. Kind of good for him that he moves a little bit quicker than the wizards. Those wizards are getting picked off by that cannon. You're going to see the P.E.K.K.A. come in and get in front of that wizard, which will help. It helps kind of the lifespan of that wizard go a little bit further, so it can do a little more damage as it gets up there closer to that arch tower. So again, ideally, you want to get those bigger hit point troops, golems, P.E.K.K.A.s, or your heroes, in front of your wizards. Protect your wizards. Wizards do a ton of damage, but you have to have them behind one of these high hit point troops. So the next example going to look at, and this is one of mine. Here's going to be another example where, again, looking at the luring, I like to lure with hogs. They're quick, they're fast. It doesn't run the time clock down. Usually they have just enough hit points to actually draw out most of the Clan Castle troop. Usually I have to run at least 2 hogs. If there's a whiz tower nearby like this one is, those splash attacks just do damage on it. So be careful. You don't want to waste a lot of troops. If you're wasting more than 10 units, with just 2 hogs or something like that, I mean that's wasting troops. And there's a lot of battles that get won or lost by just having a couple troops. So Clan Castle troops come over, deploy the golems, get the Clan Castle troops distracted, which is all we're trying to do is get them distracted. And then I'll go ahead and let loose some wizards, try and clean this up. Those guys are all going to that upper golem. Same here, you can see the golems go straight to the defenses. So we don't ever want to get them too spread apart, or they might leave too much of an opening in the middle. Ultimately, we're still trying to create a middle attack. We're just trying to take out some of these outer towers and stuff to basically focus and funnel that attack down into the middle. So here you can see the wizs, they come in, they blow away all those structures. That's great. They're on the lower side. I can see where the golem's going to come around the inside, which unfortunately, again, is going to leave those wizards a little bit unprotected. So he rushes ahead of that. Good thing, though, is that golem is still distracting that wiz tower, so we're going to be fine on that, and wizards are going to kind of take their place. But they're still left unprotected, so I've got 2 down there that are just going to run and go basically on a suicide mission. Up at the top, I've got a hero that is protecting everything so that the wizards come in behind him, which again is what we want. You always want those heavy hit point troops in front of your wizards so they can just keep volleying, catapulting all that damage right in. So all these are set up pretty good to do quite a bit of damage. You can see in the middle, on the bottom, on the top, high hit point troops, 2 golems. I basically treat that Barb King like he's a golem. He's a high hit point, takes a lot of damage. Mortars really don't do much damage to him. He can hold up to Teslas, just about everything. And you can watch some of this just unfold real quick. Basically creates a lot of damage. That lower whiz we were talking about, he already got picked off. But he was able to get through those 3 lines. We didn't have a rogue P.E.K.K.A. or something else trying to go on a field trip. So this last one, and this one we're going to watch just a little bit further. So this one is probably a better example of what can you do if all of a sudden your wizards start to go off on a field trip. And on this one, I actually kept 5 giants on hand just for that reason. I wanted to have something that I could put in a meat shield if I needed to. So here on the lower side, we've got the golems, we've got the Clan Castle troops coming in. Didn't quite do a full lure on this. That's not necessarily a good thing. Had I deployed that golem a little bit there to the left, he would have gone around to the left. So I wanted to make sure I lined him up with the spell factory so he could come on the inside. I want to focus this to where he's only taking on one of those crossbows as it gets within range. On the upper side, same thing. Got a golem trying to hit that corner where the cannon is. That'll focus the attack. Gives me a nice funnel coming in from that 3 o'clock position coming into the base. So I can already see on here the whizzes they're doing their job. They didn't go rogue. They're still following that golem right into the site. That's exactly what we want. Gives some great support there on the upper side. Now here you can see on that lower side, there goes the P.E.K.K.A. He's off on a field trip. Hey, good thing though, he's got a couple whizzes behind him. Unfortunately, he's grabbing the heroes with him. Here on the top side, what happened is because an opening in the wall opened up, that golem's going to rush in there to the defenses, and the wizards, who are not attracted to defense, they're going to go for the nearest structure. They're going to keep going up here to the gold mine and up into that barracks and other structures. So that's where there's a serious amount of firepower that's going to get picked off by that arch tower, whiz tower, something else going up the road. So it's here where I actually deployed a handful of giants just to act as a meat shield, and they instantly become a distraction for the enemy's defense, which is great. That allows the wizards to come in, do their job, just keep blowing away structures. I think I lost 2 giants up there with that arch tower. One of them's still there, so it's still distracting the arch tower while wizards come in to help clean that up, and that's exactly what we want to do. Again, we're trying to get as much bang for the buck out of every, especially wizard that we put out there. I mean, these are one of our highest damage per unit type units on in the game. Down here on the lower side, by this point, the P.E.K.K.A. and the hero, he's gotten ahead of those wizards. If you remember here a couple seconds ago, he was actually behind those, so they run a little bit faster while the wizards are blowing away structures, which is great. That's what we want. It allows the higher hit point units to kind of take the brunt of the damage. They're distracting those other, or they're distracting the enemy's defenses, which allows the wizards to do exactly like what you're seeing. They're coming in, taking out those defenses one by one and letting those heroes just keep cruising around. Here you can see where, if I did not have any wizards, we'd be in for some trouble because we'd be leaving some of these rogue, defense places just up for, to just battle and pound my guys here towards the end of the thing. So anyway, hey, those are some tips.